Caviar and Cadavers.
We're sisters. Twins. We got twins a lot like right?
We love to cook. Oh, and we love murder mysteries.
It's murder then. Then murder it is.
Welcome to Caviar and Cadavers. Cadavers. Take two.
So welcome to, oh, it fell out.
No, that's the old mic.
All right, well, welcome to Caviar and Cadavers. I am Katie.
And I'm Chrissy.
And we're twin sisters who we love to cook, and we love cooking as much as we love a good crime. So today,
We're talking about some murders, possibly.
Chris and I, we live in the suburbs of Massachusetts. You know, we have kids. It was the pandemic. We watched a lot of Netflix. Yep. A lot of true crime. We figured, you know what, we love cooking, we love talking about it, we certainly love looking at it on the internet, you know, in depth. So why not have the opportunity to cook some good food? We're gonna talk about what we learn and just share our passion for just gruesome crimes, you know, and enjoy a meal.
And we're not the only ones.
No, we're not the only ones.
We're absolutely not the only ones.
We're here to bring the class to the cadavers.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, so today we are gonna be talking about crab and feet.
That's right. So to give you a little background about the feet. So there was an enormous number of feet that washed ashore of British Columbia, the Salish Sea. And yeah, Chris, I guess we'll get started. So
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about the feet while I crack some eggs or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I'll cut this lemon while we go as well. So essentially what happened was 21 feet showed up on the Salish Sea from around 2007 to 2019. And then you think to yourself, all right, well, where were these feet before? Like, why is it now from 2007 to 2019, there are all these feet wearing athletic shoes, by the way, mostly size 12, washing ashore. And what I'll tell you is that actually that wasn't the first time that feet were washing ashore. Back in around 1887, there was a boot recovered with a leg in it.
Boot with a leg.
A boot and a leg in Vancouver. And nobody claimed it, nobody was looking for a leg. And they ended up calling that place where they found the leg, Leg and Boot Square. And that is a real place in Vancouver.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, apparently this is a thing in Canada, but it hadn't happened in over, 200 years or something.
So when you say like size 12 feet, then they have to mostly be men's feet that were washed ashore.
Yeah, we're thinking men, probably athletic men, if it was mostly, running shoes, yeah, just weird stuff.
Yeah, it's just
like who's running near the ocean or falling in the ocean.
Yeah. Okay, so I whisked the eggs.
All right, so we whisked the eggs. I think now what we'll do is we'll throw in our little spice bomb here. So there is Worcestershire sauce, there is Old Bay seasoning, a bunch of other stuff. Pepper, salt.
And then this just goes in the egg.
This just goes in the egg
Whisk
mixture.
it up.
Whisk that up. And we'll get the mayo in there as well, just to loosen everything up.
So this is all gonna get mixed up, and then we're gonna throw the crab in.
Well, not yet. Oh, not just yet. We're gonna cut up some parsley. I'll give you a little squeeze of lemon here. We're not gonna be seasoned. So it is pretty liquidy. So that's one thing I'll say about the crab mixture. You kind of need all that Ritz cracker to bind everything, but you won't find that it's an overly bready mixture. Like it's mostly crab.
All right, so I'm mixing this. You're chopping.
I'm gonna chop some curly parsley.
Okay, so did they ever really find out what happened to those people who lost their feet?
Now, so you know what? The British Columbia coroner ruled out foul play, but over the years, as more feet amassed, almost like shamefully became a joke in Canada. You know, like what's going on in British Columbia? Why are there so many feet coming around?
And didn't people actually start pulling pranks to make it look like more feet were found?
That is true. So people would stuff random shoes with like chicken bones, like anything to replicate, you know, a human bone structure, although I don't know who would get confused with a size 12-foot man and chicken. But yeah, the feet themselves remained fairly intact because the speakers protected the flesh of the foot. So while the bones attached to the foot may have become very decomposed, and that's really a function of, you know, how salic the ocean is, and you know, just you think about how tumultuous the ocean is, it's ripping apart legs and limbs.
So it almost acted like a little shield for the foot.
It did. So yeah, people were, you know, walking along the beach, nice romantic walk, come across a shoe, you think it's just a missing shoe, and sure enough, there's a nice fresh foot in there.
And I can't even imagine, because it was a 12-year-old girl who found the first shoe, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey mom,
I
check out
can't
this
even
shoe.
imagine. I can't even imagine that. I was that girl.
I mean, I don't even really like feet in general,
Yeah.
so, you know, surprise.
Okay,
Freaking
so this is all mixed up.
Okay, so that looks great. So now what we'll do is we'll take our very enormous crab mixer. So there are 2 pounds of crab in here. So
Wow.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But we're feeding a lot of people, so that's okay.
And maybe we should talk about why we decided on crab cakes for this episode.
So, you know, we didn't want to be terrible. We originally thought, oh, you know, like feet. Should we do something with like a foot, like those people pranking with the chickens? But no, we thought that wasn't very kind. So what instead we thought we would do is, because British Columbia is very much a seafood kind of culture. And while this is probably more of like a Maryland crab cake, but we like crab cakes, that is why we figured, you know what, this is probably not a bad idea to have.
Yeah.
Enjoy some crab
This
with your
looks
side of feet.
delicious.
And it's very crabby. So again, it's like we have a bunch of Ritz crackers here that we'll add kind of
bind
slowly and incorporate, because you don't want to break up how big the lumps are.
Yeah.
But you know, you want to bite into a crab cake that has a nice big piece of lump crab. There's one thing we know from our moms, that you can't have like the filler kind of like shred up
when
crab.
I order a crab
You need
cake,
lump
I want
Yeah, you want to see the big maintained lump crab, kind of like the
Absolutely.
maintained foot in the sneaker. But
Now there's
I
a
digress.
twist. There's a twist to the story, right? I mean, there are a lot of theories.
Yes, that's true. There were a lot of theories. There were plane crashes that happened. You know, people definitely had tons of theories. Oh, you know, maybe it was like Titanic survivors, but what Titanic survivor is wearing an athletic shoe?
Yeah. Titanic survivors.
Yeah, I know. People are silly, but yeah, plane crashes happen. You know, people thought maybe it was like some serial killer who had like a foot thing. You know, just toss the feet in the ocean. But the British coroners did rule out foul play. So really, in the end, you know, using more advanced DNA matching, they ended up identifying most of the 21 feet. I think at the moment there might be like 2 feet, coincidentally from the same person. Blue New Balance sneaker size 12, in case anyone knows anything out there, but those are still unidentified. But yes, it was just people who happened to fall into the ocean from, you know, boat accidents. They thought, you know, maybe there could have been some suicides, but most of it just traced back to people who were missing, and they used the DNA to find them. So
So not your typical cadaver story.
No, not your typical cadaver story, but I have to say, when we started talking about this idea of doing this, you know, what kind of obscure unsolved crimes are out there? And I couldn't get over the fact that there were severed feet just washing ashore, and I had to crack the code.
We had to crack the code.
I had to crack the code.
We did.
So that's that.
Okay,
All right, so
this
now,
is all mixed.
This is mixed. So now we're gonna get kind of in here. So I'll move
should I bring the
this.
tray over?
We'll move this aside and we'll bring our trays over. So let's move this off camera.
Do you want both of them or just one?
You know, we can work with one for now.
Okay.
But we're gonna get pretty dirty.
All right.
So I'd say take a nice healthy scoop, and we'll just
Form patties.
form patties.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So, you know, it's funny. I was trying to think of the origin of our fascination, I guess you could call it, with these kinds of stories. And the thing that popped into my mind was when we would watch Unsolved Mysteries. Remember that show?
You know, it's so funny that you say that. I feel, and you know, that made a revival again on Netflix.
It did on Netflix, I know, and it was something that...
And I think it is just a whole generation of people, you know, who kind of have this sick fascination. It's like watching a train wreck that you just can't like avert your eyes. Yeah, you know.
Okay, so how many can we fit on this pan?
I don't know, but we're looking a little disheveled. Some of these are falling apart.
All right.
You know?
You know what? I like them rustic.
I like them rustic too.
So we've got them, and how many inches apart would you say they need to be on
You know,
the pan?
I feel like this is probably good for now. Maybe we'll grab the other pan.
Okay. So probably like what, an inch, inch and a half apart?
I'd say so.
Okay.
And yours look
Maybe
very, a lot tighter than mine do, so I should probably.
And you want them to be a little, and you want them to be tight?
because you don't want them to fall apart in the oven because we will have to flip them. So you do want it pretty well bound.
So now I know a lot of people when they make crab cakes, they usually do it in a pan.
Yes.
Why the oven?
You know, I think because these are just so delicate and you want to maintain the lumps. You
Yes.
want to maintain how intact these are. And they're also, again, you saw how much stuff we added liquid-wise. It was the wet
And these are pretty
ingredients,
wet, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want them to fall apart. I find that if you're a little aggressive in the pan, they'll fall apart. And you know, we didn't sign up for just crab mush. We wanted a crab cake.
All right, I
yeah.
got a little bit. Can I add this on to any of them?
Yeah, you know, whatever little
Here you
puny
go.
one you
Here we
got.
go.
Okay.
All right, so
I think at this point we have to wash our hands.
Yes.
We definitely need to put it in a 450-degree oven for some amount of time. We'll flip it when it starts looking golden, and then you wait for the same side, and then you take it out and enjoy it. Really, it doesn't take a lot. The crab is already cooked, so there's not a whole lot to do beyond just cooking and enjoying. So we'll
Nice.
see you in a bit. So at this point, we'll just throw it in here. So you put it in 450 for 4 minutes on one side, you flip it, 3 minutes on the other, and then it should generally be done. But what you're looking for, because it's such a hot oven, you just want a nice golden brown. And that's really it. To be enjoyed with a nice crisp glass of wine. And for those of us who can enjoy them.
yes.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Now let's begin.
Ooh, that looks good. Forks?
Oh yeah, I guess we need a fork. That was stupid. That was terrible.
No, that's good. Yeah, there you go. How beautiful that is.
That's it.
Yes.
Make it quick.
Sriracha mayo.
So yeah, you know, I think what goes really, really nicely with crab cake is just a quick sriracha mayo. So this is just mayo, sriracha, and then what I think really just pulls it over the edge, makes it a little more luxurious, is a little hit of sesame oil.
It's almost like the secret
Yeah,
ingredient.
it's like really surprising. Obviously this is not for someone with a nut allergy, but you know, it's just delicious.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's not your traditional
No.
tartar sauce.
No.
Elevated.
Yeah, I'm not about that tartar sauce.
Yeah.
I feel like a little kick.
Little caviar.
I guess we'll just real quick. So this is our crab cake. So we have some nice lemon wedges, some parsley, just for garnish. Nobody really eats that. And yeah, we'll just dig in.
Nice.
All right. So I think that we'll have our nice thing here. And you can see what's really nice about it. It really does just fall right apart.
And what's also really nice about it is that it's crab. Like it's all crab.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's good. That's good.
That's really good.
And it's a sesame.
Squeeze a little bit of the
Freaking sesame.
lemon on it. It's delicious.
Okay, so that I'm speechless.
Yeah. Okay, couldn't have gone better.
No. Yeah, so quick 7 minutes in the oven. Easy. It went so fast, and everything is just stuff that you have in your pantry. Yeah, you know, maybe you have to go out and splurge a little bit for the lump crab, but it's certainly something. Yeah, it's just a nice little treat, and you know, invite your friends over. Now you have a little story to tell them if they're not squeamish or turned off by eating crab while listening to A story about severed feet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. We are Chrissy and Katie of Caviar and Cadavers. We'll have the recipe linked in our blog, so we hope you give that a try. And also just, again, hit us up with any ideas you might have for stories, anything you want to see us make, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and also drop a comment.
Yes,
because
in the comments below.
we love the love. Well, we'll see you next time. Subscribe.
Caviar and Cadavers.
We're sisters. Twins. We got twins a lot. Okay, great.
We love to cook. When we love murder mysteries.
That's